Now let me tell y'all something about dreams. Listen up, because this is something I found out a long time ago that goes against everything you see in a movie, on TV, or what your great-grandma may have told you when you were a kid. See, dreams don't happen overnight. That ain't how it works. See, they come to you in the daylight. You gots to be awake. Cause baby, you got to run dreams down. See, that chase is when we learn the most about ourselves. To take that extra step, that extra mile, that extra rep. Now look here. You don't never know how long it's gonna take, or exactly what it'll look like when you get there. The only thing you know is you can never stop. So, question time. What's your dreams? What's your dream? Are you willing to do what it takes to make that dream a reality? No. See, not while you're sleeping, but every darn day you wake up. Because if it does, good morning. Now give me my darn theme.
Boom, man. What is going on, family? What is going on? Welcome in to RobDaManMedia. My brother, Coach Dre, is here. But, man, we got to, Coach Prime dropped this tweet off this morning. So we had to start. This is the way we starting this off, man, because we're going to do a rewind from 2023 to 2024, going into 2025. So y'all buckle up, y'all lock in, y'all get your questions ready, because we finna start answering a lot of things today. This is the rewind show to end 2024, going into 2025. Because once we get into 2025, we doing everything a lot differently. So hey, welcome in, buckle up, get ready. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Good afternoon, depending on where you're at. Good morning if you're on the West Coast. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. But we here. My brother from another mother, Coach Dre, what's going on?
Oh, man, we good. Thankful. See another day. And, we just ready to, like I say, always got to push forward and find a way to be positive and stay upbeat and keep things on an even keel. So, we always ready to do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's start this off, right? Coach Prime drops this tweet. We have a lack of trust based on 3 things I feel. Let's say that again. We have a lack of trust based on 3 things I feel. And this really plays a part to when you talk about the transition from last year to this year. It's always been about trust with Coach Prime. And let's just start off with that first phrase, Coach Dre. In your eyes, what is Coach Prime telling us?
I mean, it's something that I as a football coach, trust is always the biggest thing because first and foremost, people are trusting you with their kids at any level that you coach, except for the NFL, because by then they're grown. So you're being trusted with their kids, their most pride and joy. And then trusting your dream. These kids are trusting the dreams that they have, are trusting the dreams that they have to you. So when he's telling you guys that you gotta, you know what I'm saying? I keep telling y'all that trust is something trust is something that's earned. It's not something that's given. It's easily broken. And if you don't have it, it's hard to get it from someone. That's why sometimes relationships don't work and things don't work out in favor of certain things because of the lack of trust that someone might have in something. But trust is something that you have to have, especially in football. I continue to tell you, it takes 11 guys to make one play work right, and you got to trust that everybody's going to do their job. Because if you don't do that, then there's a lack of trust there. Go ahead, bro.
First thing he said, something that was done by this person to create this feeling. So the lack of trust from something that was done by this person to create this feeling. Number 2, something another person did from your past. Number 3, you not trusting yourself to do right in the same situation if you were them. What is that? Let's go. Hashtag Coach Prime. Now, Dre, now that we Prime put out the 3 things that he feels, how do you feel about the word trust and what Coach Prime is indicative to this team this season?
Again, it just comes down to, that's why I tell you guys all the time to be forgiving. Because you can't move forward if you don't forgive. You can't do anything with that. Like he said, a lot of us are judging people thinking that you would do something differently. But knowing in the back of your mind, in the back of in your heart, that if you were in the same situation, you probably do the same thing. Uh, and then a lot of us can't move forward with other people because of the trust that someone else broke in them in their past. Uh, and that's the biggest thing with a lot of kids that's hitting the transfer portal when they come on these visits, is that they're looking for the trust that they lost from a former coach. A lot of these kids are being promised the world to come play for this university and to come do this. And so now you have to believe in what this man is telling you. And so now most people want to see it before they believe it. So just
Yes.
tell somebody that, hey, this is what's gonna happen. A lot of kids are not buying that anymore. And so now that's why you see a lot of these kids only taking the money and running, because of the simple fact is they lack the trust and all those things that Coach Prime has just told you. They lack the trust. And so now you want these young men to trust people, and they just don't know how to. And so Coach Prime is just, again, he just giving out free game, uh, trying to get people to understand what it is. And it's not just for football, it's also for life. I continue to tell people Prime is living in his purpose. So when he's living in his purpose, he's talking through, he's using football as his way to touch as many people as he can. He does this every morning. He's consistent with putting out some type of message to try to bless somebody and try to encourage somebody, try to uplift somebody. And we try to come up with a reason to not do that. But we have to understand that we have to have some form of trust for anything to go anywhere. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you see the rise of the University of Colorado.
Listen, you talk about the rise, you talk about 111 to 4-8 to 9-4. Somebody had to put the trust in Coach Prime for him to be at this point in his life. You talk about Jackson State, 4-8, 11-1. No, 11-2, and 12-1. Right? The trust that is instilled. So when Coach Prime put this tweet out, it just made me think about, when he makes decisions and he brings certain people in the building, the first thing that comes to mind is trust. And why certain people are in the building, why certain people are not in the building. Why there are certain things that's going on with the movement of the staff, right? Can you excel at what you're doing, and can you trust and instill the plan that's been put in place for you to be successful? So that gets us to this first point. When we go on this look back, we're going to start with the offensive coordinators. We're going to start the transformation from Sean Lewis 2023 to Pat Shermer 2024. And when you look at the evolution of this program offensive-wise, let's talk about some of the key things you've seen from 2023's offensive side to 2024 offensive side. What's the biggest thing that you noticed from these past 2 seasons, Coach Dre?
That we've gotten better at every position. Uh, every position got elevated based on what you saw from 2023 to now. again, and y'all also have to understand that 2023, these guys had to do this in a rush. They had to do it in a rush, and Coach Prime still had one game left at Jackson that he didn't quit on those kids. He was coaching two teams at one time. The portal had already opened; it was finna close, and when he got this job, early signing period was finna be over. So he had to go with what he got. Whatever was there, that's what he had to pick from. Uh, Sean Lewis was an upcoming and rising young head coach at the position he was. They had went out the year before and played Georgia, played them real good, played them strong, and so he was a rising offensive mind in college football. So he left his position as being the head coach because he knew coming here would get him a better job. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about that. Sean Lewis probably wouldn't be here only but probably 1 year. Some things happen, and you start seeing the evolution during the year where, okay, Sean Lewis stepped away from being the offensive coordinator, and Pat Shermer stepped in. Most of the year last year of that 23 year, the back end of that year, Pat Shermer had to run most of what Sean Lewis had put in.
Yep.
He had already put in that offense. It's hard to try to switch an offense mid-season and try to get kids to change their whole philosophy. So what you saw was a transformation game by game of Coach Shermer putting in some of his stuff. But I want everybody to understand the evolution of Shedeur Sanders. He's never once had the same offensive coordinator for 2 years, right?
That's facts.
And he's always so what we saw was the evolution of him when Pat Shermer took over to Pat Shermer giving him full control of the offense, understanding the reads, making the calls, and things of that nature. So you saw full maturation of the offense. And so that Utah game that you saw last year with when Stobbs came in is more of what you'll probably see going forward, because again, you're not going to hand any of those guys probably in that room the keys like you handed Shedeur Sanders the keys. And again, guys, if you don't believe me, just go back and watch even Shedeur maturation from Jackson to here. He didn't have complete control of the offense when he was at Jackson. You had 1,000-yard. They was running the ball. Whatever plays the offensive coordinator was calling, those were mostly the plays that Shedeur was running. With Sean Lewis and with Pat Shermer, you saw him mature into what I consider the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning type of quarterback system. And so when you get to that and the kid is the one really control of the offense, and Coach Shermer told you guys that. Again, guys, CU fans and CU haters and whatever you consider yourself, if you listen to these gentlemen, they give you the answers to the test. When they asked him what control does Shedeur have of the playbook, he said the whole thing. And so, but what we saw was a maturation, and again, you saw elevation on from the offensive coordinators. That's no disrespect to Sean Lewis, but you saw a guy getting himself ready to go to the NFL when you get a guy like Pat Shermer get in there calling the plays and getting them right.
All right. Should Shedeur have had so much control over the offense is my question. That's a good question, right? When you ask, should Shedeur have full control over the offense? Well, you got to ask yourself this. When you had somebody that's been in college for as long as Shedeur has and has had the success of touchdown to interception ratio, why wouldn't you give him the success? Now, there are some things that you could will players back in. And I think that's the part, that's probably more of the question you probably want to ask, is there some things that they could have willed in to make the offense more successful? I don't think the full control of the offense is the question. I think there are certain things that you could have willed in to allow this offense to be more successful in 2024. 2023, there was nothing you could do about trying to, because it was fast, up tempo, up tempo, up tempo. That's just what it was, right? And that was what was being coached. When you look at 2024, there are some things that could have been easily wheel back in. Like, hey, listen, Shador, I know we want to get the ball to the perimeter and we want to get the ball out to the playmakers. Hey, we got to run the ball. We got to make an attempt to run the ball for us to have that play action opportunity. Hey, we need to get the tight ends involved, right? We'll take a defender out the way to allow us to get to the outside. But there's certain things that you can attack, the adjustments you can make. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? It comes down to trustability, right? How much did Shador trust certain situations to put certain people in these situations? It's all everything could be questionable, right? I could question every move that we made on offense. I could question every move we made on defense. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So when you look back at this situation, you look at this offense completely, you got to think about I take this into consideration, right? When you look at 2023's offense to 2024 offense, we got tremendously better on offense than we was in 2023. Think about it. 2023, all we had was Xavier Weaver, Travis, Jimmy Horn. That's all we had on offense. Let's be real. 2024, we had Tay, we had Travis Hunter, we had Will Shepard, we had Jimmy Horn, Miller. The list goes on and on. So we just have more weapons at our disposal to allow us to do more things when we got to people getting hurt. Think about it. We played the game where our top 4 receivers got hurt, and we would still had an opportunity to go win the game. That doesn't happen in 2023. But we lose that game tremendously in the blowout fashion. So there's a lot of things that you could take from 2023's offense to 2024 offense, and so there's a complete difference. Now, going back to 2023, right? When we talk about let's go to the offensive line, right? Going from one offensive line coach to another offensive line coach to now we're finna go to another offensive line coach. What was your biggest thing that you've seen moving from the offensive line coaches from 2023 to 2024 and now going into 2025?
The first thing is this going to be a hire just like the hire that we just made that Coach Prime makes. Again, no disrespect or no knock on Coach Lewis, but I think when Coach Lewis took this job, he wanted to bring in one of his guys, and that's one of the things I be harping on when I be talking about how Coach Livingston didn't do that. I think the hire of Coach O'Boyle that first year was more of Sean Lewis saying, hey, I want my guy. He already knows my offense. I want my guy in there to be the offensive line coach. What you saw was a maturation. Again, I don't think that the former offensive line coach, he didn't get to pick from the best of the litter. Okay, so he had to go with the guys that he already knew could play in his system. Now, those guys, it didn't really work out that great for us. Shador was sacked the most in college football. Now, I don't put all those sacks on those guys, but it is what it is. Coach Lohos came in here and he turned this thing around. He got a 5-star defense left tackle to come in here from IMG Academy, and the way he coached was maybe a little different. And those guys responded to him because of the simple fact is he's played in the NFL. He knows what it looks like to be in the NFL, and kids kind of respect that. Coach O'Boyle was hard-nosed. I like Coach O'Boyle personally. I think his resume speaks for itself. But I just think that was more of, like I say, of a Sean Lewis hire. Hey, if you getting me, I need my guy. I think that's what that was. Coach Lodehouse was more of a guy who Coach Prime heard he was a young upcoming coach. Again, guys, Coach Lodehouse, was not the main offensive line coach anywhere he was before he got to the University of Colorado. Was the first team to give him a chance to have his own room. He was the assistant at Oklahoma and stuff like that. So he got, and again, if you go back and you watched, shout out to Neely and Chico, if you go back and watch them last night, Neely says it's not about texting Coach Prime, asking Coach Prime. It's about relationships and people being able to vouch for you and saying, hey, I'll vouch for him. I'll vouch for him. When me and Rob told you that last year about Livingston and stuff of that nature, that's what it is for Coach Prime. It's about relationships. Coach Prime says it out of his own mouth. That's why I continuously tell you guys, just sit back sometimes, don't talk, just listen, and you'll get all the answers you want for a lot of questions, and you won't have to ask a lot of questions because he gives them to you. But Coach Lowhost came in here, and he had some great linemen. He moved some stuff around. He shook some stuff up, and he wasn't afraid to do that. And that's what the main thing that I liked about him. I wish him the best. I think he's going to be a great O-line coach. Again, guys, we just talked about relationships. That is the main reason Coach Lowhost is at Mississippi State. The coaches that were at Mississippi State were at Oklahoma with him, and the AD who gave him a job, gave him his first shot, and I think might have been even the AD when he was there, is the AD now at Mississippi State. Again,
Yep.
I keep telling you only can teach loyalty. And so, yes, I'm loyal to Coach Prime, and I appreciate this, but these people here gave me my first job, my first opportunity, and now I have the opportunity to go be the guy in the room at an SEC school, Mississippi State. The relationship is more what it's about than it is just him getting up and leaving Colorado. It's more about the relationship that he has with the people in the room. But you saw the elevation from this year to last year. We didn't give up as many sacks. Some of the sacks that we did give up, some of those were on our quarterback. It wasn't all just the offensive line. So we saw elevation. And I think whoever we get to come in now, we're going to see another elevation. Coach Prime always does that. He's never not done that, guys. Again, go back and do your history, do your research, and you'll see that Coach Dre is not just telling y'all something that he's thinking or he's making up off the top of his head. It's facts. It's not just an opinion. Go ahead, Rob.
No, everything Coach Prime does is about relationships. I don't care which way you want to slice dice it, whatever. Right? Anybody that comes that's going to be attached to the University of Colorado that's inside the building is going to be based on relationships. There's nobody that's going to come in there that's not recommended by somebody. I can promise you that. If you think that's the case, you might as well just keep on moving around and keep calling, keep texting, and doing whatever you need to do. But that just ain't going to happen. When I look at Phil Longhouse, you hit it right there in the head. He was not afraid to take somebody out, move somebody around, to try to do whatever he could to help us win games. And that didn't happen in 2023. But here's one of the things that I would say about Phil Longhouse and this whole situation. He didn't even get to pick these guys on the offensive line. They was already there before he got there. So I wanted him to at least go one more year, give a full offseason to allow him to recruit the guys that he wanted in the building, to coach. And so when you start to look at some of these position coaches and them coming in to these situations, a lot of these guys ain't even getting to pick their guys. They just have to come in and coach. Robert Livingston, he just came in here and coached. He didn't pick none of these position coaches on the defense, but he worked with them. Same thing with Phil Longhouse. Phil Longhouse came in, and these weren't the guys that he recruited to come to Colorado. They were already there. Whether you want to look at it, any way you want to slice it up and down, these were the guys that were handpicked before he got there. And so the job that he did with the talent they brought in, I think he did a good job. That's just me personally. But let me know in the chat how you feel. Let me know if you feel a different way.
I mean, you again, and that's why you saw so much selflessness in this team this year. Because none of these coaches that you saw griped about what they had. They just worked with what they had, with whatever was in the cupboard. This is what we're going to do. I had to move some things around. I had to shake some stuff up. But I'm gonna figure out a way to make sure that we can be successful. And that's what we did, guys. Again, Coach Lowhost, I'm pretty sure he's very thankful. And again, if you listen, yesterday everybody went plumb haywire. But if you listen to Coach Prime in his press conference, he told you verbatim, hey, some coaches are gonna get elevated because in this profession, either you're elevated or terminated. Now, I hear a lot of people saying it's a lateral move. I don't know if for Coach Dancy it's not a lateral move. He going back home to Mississippi, back home, same thing. Like, guys, let me break this down to y'all so I think y'all can really get it. Coaching is very difficult, guys. Especially I'm just a high school coach, a regular, and it's difficult. Being a college coach, I can only imagine the difficulties that it is. If people know me, they know that my brother-in-law is right now he's the defensive line coach for the Miami Dolphins. The year before, he was the defensive line coach for the LSU Tigers. So I promise you guys, it's stressful. My sister having to move from here to here. So when you get a chance to go home to where you're from, to be closer to everybody that you love and care, have you a support system and things of that nature, when you have the opportunity, you take it. Because it's difficult coaching because we got people like these trolls and haters out here spewing on your name, talking down on you. And these people that you care about and love have to sit here and you got to sit here and ask them to take this. Hey, don't say nothing in the media. Don't respond to these people, this, that, and the other. And that's what I be trying to get some of y'all to understand. What if that was your brother? What if that was your dad or your uncle, your cousin, that y'all get on here and talk about it, throw in the mud and try to drag their name? How would you feel? You would be wanting to respond. You would be wanting to act. But you have to tell your family members, hey, just cool it. It'll be okay. We fine. It's all right. So being a college coach is very difficult. So when you see a guy like Dancy getting a chance to go home to Mississippi where he's from, he played at Jackson, he coached at Mississippi Valley State, he had the opportunity to come with Coach Prime to build himself a great resume. Coach Dancy will be a head coach at a big school because he has the tools. He takes in everything that you want because who goes from being a head coach to just being an analyst? I understand the money is different. That's the biggest thing. But he came in here to Colorado as an analyst. Nick Williams was the coach that Coach Prime brought in to be the DN coach last year. Coach Williams leaves and you get promoted. So Coach Dancy has been being promoted all the time. So y'all have to understand what these guys are going through when they're coaches. It's a couple of other coaches, like when Coach Brew left last year. Everybody just think, oh, yeah, no, Coach Brew has a family. His wife didn't want to be in Colorado like that, so she stayed where they were from. And so, he wants to be close to his wife, And so when these guys have to be away from their families and stuff, that it hurts when you already have to go through this stuff alone. Some of y'all can't deal with stuff by yourself. How do you expect coaches to deal with this kind of stuff that we as people put on them? And so, man, like, that's the biggest thing with coaching, guys. I promise you, that's the biggest thing with coaching.
If some of these people was to actually step one day, just one day, I'll give it 2 days. Because I know you're gonna quit on the first day. So I'm gonna give you 2 days. If some of y'all were able to be put in this position for 2 days to be a coach, a lot of y'all wouldn't know what the first thing to do. Let alone get people to follow what you need them to do for them to be successful. It's good. It's easy to be high behind a keyboard, high behind the TV, say this, say that. But to actually have to go through the ground and put the work in and the sacrifice, I don't think people understand the sacrifice that it takes for as a coach. How many hours you spend away from your family, how much time you have to put in watching film and teaching, training, being a father figure to some of these kids, or a mother figure if you're a woman coach and you're coaching women's. the sacrifice that comes with coaching it's a lot. It's a lot. And so we have to put things in perspective, right? When you look at some of these jobs that's being taken at the University of Colorado, what situation is that coach coming into right now? The next head coach that coached on the offensive line is not coming in with his guys. It's coming in with what they already recruited. So for you to go out and do a job and you already coming in behind an 8 ball, you gotta some of the expectations that you put on these coaches has to change. Because you gotta think about it. If the room is completely empty and they brought in guys, that's all games off, man. You go what it is. But when you coming in as a coach and the room is already built for you and they come in and ask you to coach, and then you're working with the offensive coordinator that you haven't worked with before, right? It's going to change things. That's just the truth. So moving forward, right? I just want to say this, right? I give nothing but praise to Coach Phil Longhost, the job that he did. I've seen the work that he's put in the season. I've seen him get on guys. I've seen him flat out just to keep it real with him, straight up. It's BS. I'm not finna continue to get yelled at for your BS because that ain't what I'm teaching you. That ain't what I'm training you to do. You doing what you want to do. I'm asking you to do a simple job. Majority of every game I was in, I was sitting right behind the bench. So I seen exactly what was going on and what wasn't going on. And if you sat behind the bench in Colorado and you seen the area where Phil Longhill was at, that man was coaching. That man had a tablet in his hand. Every series he was coaching. He was talking to each player. He was showing them the mistakes, and he was disciplining them for the mistakes. So I give my hats off to Phil Longhouse. He's gonna be missed, whether y'all want to like it or not. He's moving on. He went to a situation that he felt was best for him and his family. Hey man, we appreciate you. Now let's go to the defensive side of the ball, right? The transformation from the 2023 cycle to the 2024 cycle. When you look at Coach Sal leaving for, I'm gonna leave whatever situation why he left, right? Because of health. To going into Sap and Dancy and D. Lou. What you think, Coach Dre? How you feel?
Like I said, I think Coach Sal with the talent that he had, Coach Sal came from Alabama, and Alabama was a defensive line producer, so we knew he could coach. I believe God. I believe in God, so I believe everything happened for a reason. Coach Sal was on the back end of coaching. Again, guys, understand that Coach Sal wasn't the first guy that Coach Prime hired. He hired a guy from LSU. Again, that's the reason
Pat
I know.
Hill.
A reason I know is because my brother was there. My brother-in-law was there. So that was his first hire. Well, maybe a month into the job, he got a call from the Minnesota Vikings to come coach in the NFL because of what he had done at LSU. So then he leaves, and so Coach Kelly is the coach. He's coming from Alabama. So hey, why not let me see if Coach Sal wants to come in here and do that again. Now I got a chance to get one of my guys in here on the staff. Y'all get my drift from last year? Now I get to get one of my guys in here to coach the defensive line. But Coach Sal was rugged. The only difference between him and Sapp and Lewis is their age. He talked that same kind of talk. He brought that energy. He probably couldn't move as fast as they could, but he brought that same kind of physicality, that same kind of energy to that room as a defensive line coach. But his health wasn't well at the end of the season. He had to have some things, some surgeries and stuff. Coach, as you see, it took a long time for them to say that D. Lewis was a defensive line coach because they were giving Coach Sal every opportunity to come back if he was healthy. Once they got the okay from Coach Sal that he wasn't going to be healthy, boom. Lewis, now you're going to be the defensive line coach. And most of y'all cried about that. Oh, well, Sap ain't the defensive line coach. Yeah, we remember that.
Yep.
That shouldn't be the defensive line coach. Why do you know the defensive line coach? Guys, you don't have to be the person in charge to be doing the work. To be a good chief, you had to be a great Indian. And most people don't even want to be half-hearted Indians. Everybody just want to be a boss. That's all you ever hear about is everybody want to be. I want to be a boss. But a lot of people that end up being the boss before they was a worker, most of the time that stuff don't work for them because they don't know what it's like to grind and to do all this stuff. So again, what you saw was great transformation, and then when you get a D. Lewis and a Sapp in there again, guys who played the position at the NFL. When we sitting down in film room and I don't like what I see from you, I don't have to. I can put my film on side yours and say, look at me. I'm in the same position in the 3 technique. Look at me. Doom, 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 doom. Look at yourself. Are you giving me everything you got? Are you doing the techniques that we're teaching you, that we're giving you? And in this day and age, that's what a lot of kids want to see. They want to be able to see it. Oh, I can see Coach Sapp on the field. I can see Coach Lewis on the field. Even if you got to go up, Danzy did make the NFL, guys. He might have didn't play a lot, but you can go look up his Jackson Tate film. And like I said, he young, he out there, he moving around with him, he running around with him. And a lot of times that's what get kids going. That can get kids going. Just that right there, just the interaction. A coach out here running around with us, coach in here hitting us with the bag. He's standing up, he doing all this other stuff. When you get that kind of interaction from your coach, that is the biggest thing. So I don't think it was an upgrade because of the experience that those guys had. And hey guys, Coach Sal was an All-American when he played college football. A All-American. He wasn't a slouch. The only reason he didn't have, they say the only Coach
Hold on,
Sal
Coach
probably
Ray.
a Hall of Fame career.
Hey, hold on, Coach Ray. Hey, listen. I know you want some attention right now, my brother. I know you want some attention and this, that, and the third. What I'm just gonna tell you respectfully right now. You can change your tone or you can just leave, bro. I'm not even going for it today. I'm just not. I get what you want to talk about and you want to understand why we didn't run the ball, this, that, and the third, blase, blase. Relax or you can leave, bro. It's just that simple. That's the only one I'm giving you. All right, go ahead, Coach Sir.
We told y'all we ain't going for that. If y'all don't like what we saying, y'all can go start your own YouTube channel. Okay, but he was gonna be all. The only thing that they're saying is that if he wouldn't have got hurt, he'd have probably been a Hall of Famer himself. They say that's just how good Coach Sal was. But it was a great upgrade. It was a great upgrade for us. I'm proud of these. I'm proud of what they did.
Hey, Coach, are you breaking up?
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
Okay, I got you. Listen, it's not about tolerating BS or anything like that. It's just y'all gotta understand from a standpoint, like everybody think they coach of the year, like they know something. Like, hey, Pat didn't call this play, or Pat didn't do this, or Pat didn't do that. What I'm telling you is that ain't the case. So for you to come here and be like, well, Pat didn't do this, or Pat didn't do that. I watched the film. Did you? How much film did you watch? Did you hear every call that was played on the field? Because I know you didn't. You might have seen an all-22, but did you hear anything?
Bro, you got me.
You break up. Hold on.
Hello. You back?
Yeah, yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that was on your end. Okay, I was finna
Bro,
say.
you was breaking up too.
Yeah,
Oh no.
but yeah, I mean, we just gotta we good. I think we'll get another DN coach to come in, guys, because Coach Sapp and Coach Lewis will be teaching down in the trenches. So that's 2 spots. That's another spot for us to go out and get somebody. And I'm going to be looking for coach to probably bring in somebody a little younger, somebody like somebody a little younger, that needs the experience. So don't be surprised if it's somebody a little younger, but know that whoever he brings in is going to be somebody that's recommended, that many people that's in the football world is going to vouch for. So that's the biggest thing. And so I like where we're trending with the defensive line, the trajectory of what we're doing.
I'm gonna say this overall. I think a lot of people will be surprised by who gets picked to come in as the next head coach. I mean, I said the next head coach. That's the next coaches, assistant coaches. So I want people to just be mindful. Over this next few weeks, you're gonna hear some names some names, some people that they're gonna interview, that you're not gonna see interview. But the players report back January 9th. So with the players reporting back January 9th, that you're going to hear some type of decision being made, because Coach probably want them in the building for winter workouts, so they can understand, what's next. To see year 2 of Robert Livingston, and getting everybody on board. So there's a lot of things that you're going to see happen over these next few weeks, that's going to help this team move forward. But I always tell people, I don't worry about what happens in the wintertime. It's more about what happens after spring, right? That spring portal is what I always look for, because that starts to tell you, what this team is really going to look like, who's going to be where and what's going on. But I got a feeling we're going to get some young coaches too, and there's going to be some surprise coaches that come in that people don't think that might possibly be on this Colorado coaching staff, that's going to make a key impact to this team next year.
Hold on, Rob. Listen, bro, we don't care nothing about nobody questioning our opinion. What we care about is the way I told you. You can be right. You can be right all day long, but your presentation is what we talking about. We don't care nothing about nobody questioning our opinion. You get what I'm saying? We talking about the presentation. What you gonna do is you gonna respect what going on in here. This is a positive uh, YouTube channel. That's the way we gonna present ourselves. We not changed. We've been here since 2003. We ain't never changed. You get what I'm saying? So we not finna change for nobody or what nobody else think. That's what we gonna do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about what you're saying. It's about how you saying it. I'm gonna tell you. You must be new here. So this is what I'll tell you, like I'll tell anybody. Listen, if I cook your favorite meal and you watch me cook it, watch me prepare it, know it smell good, know it's finna taste good, but I go outside and I get the garbage can lid and I put this nicely cooked food that I just cooked you on this garbage can lid, and then I present it to you. Are you eating that? You getting up from the table, you leaving. So it's not about if you're right or wrong, or if you have a different opinion from me and Rob or the people in here. And the one thing we not gonna never do is nobody's never gonna come in here and disrespect the first ladies of RobDaManMedia. You just not gonna never do that. I don't know how you was raised, but that's the way I was raised. So it will be no disrespect to none of the ladies in here that's been rocking with us from day one. So if y'all can't do that, like I say, bro, y'all don't have to watch us. We not making you come in here. We not making you come in here. Again, you can be right. It's just about your presentation. Go ahead, Rob.
No, man, moving forward, I mean, looking at this coaching staff, right? When you look at the defense, right, from Charles Kelly and his system to Robert Livingston coming in with no playbook, no system, he just, I need to see the talent that we got, right? And when I see the talent I got, I'm going to put in something for us to be successful. When you grade out what you see from the defense last year to this year, what was your biggest takeaways from going from Charles Kelly to Robert Livingston?
My biggest takeaway was that Coach Kelly came in with his defense. He's a national champion defensive coordinator. He won a national championship. He's been successful putting guys in the NFL and all of that with his defensive system. So he already had a system in mind that he wanted to have. He already had a playbook that was written out that of the plays and stuff that he was gonna run. Livingston didn't have that. He had never called plays before, and things of that nature. So he just came in here and he put together a defense based on the talent that he had, not on not on his resume, because he didn't have a resume. Now he could have, I think he took a little bit from all the defensive coordinators that he had in Cincinnati, maybe more from Marvin Lewis than anybody when I really go back and I really look at it. But the biggest thing was he came in here and fit his defense around the kids that he had in his building and what fit them best. And that's how he decided what his defense was going to be. From where Charles Kelly was like, when Charles Kelly talking, he like, hey guys, this has worked. It's proven. And again, he could go and show you that the defense that he asking y'all to run, that it's worked, is proven. So you couldn't argue with that with Coach Kelly because he had that. Coach Livingston didn't have that. I give a big shout out to Law Dog that be on here. Law Dog was one of the first people to say, hey man, I don't know if we need a name. We need a guy that want to come prove himself. And that's what Coach Prime did. He went out and got a guy that wanted to come prove himself. But the one thing you got to, again, all the selflessness you saw from these young men, the reason you could see that is because you saw it in the coaches. Robert Livingston didn't have nobody he didn't bring anybody in that building. That whole defensive coaching staff was there. The only person that got hired after him was probably Coach Helu. But everybody else was there. Set in stone, this their position, this is what they coaching. He jumped right in their hands first and went to work with these guys and made this defense a great defense. Put together first teamers on Big 12. Should have been a few more first teamers and second teamers of Big 12, but we won't complain. And put together, I think, and that's the reason why I think he should have won the award for the best assistant coach, because he was the guy that no one expected this to come from, and from what he did, coming from a guy like Charles Kelly, which guys, again, Coach Prime told you, is guys on his first staff that were going to end up being head coaches. This will be the second guy off of Coach Prime's first staff that is head coaches. Shouts out to Coach Kelly being the new head coach at Jacksonville State. So the biggest thing is that Coach Rob Livingston came in here with no ideals, with no philosophy. He built the philosophy based on the young men that he had in his building.
Hey, let me ask you this one. Rob Livingston actually made adjustments. Would love to not play man 90% of the time. Let's switch it up. Play some zone on the field. I'll say this. The reason why we're able to play man a majority of the time is because we was able to control the line of scrimmage, and our linebackers were able to make plays, which made it easier for us to play man. Now there are situations where we could have went zone. And what I did love about it was Robert Livingston making adjustments. But as we got weaker in the trenches due to injuries, and our linebacker play started to get diminished because of injuries, that took a toll, right? And that was one of the deciding factors from us winning 10 games to possibly 11 games. When you overall look at it. So what Robert Livingston did, it's exciting to see what this next year is going to look like, right? Year 2, because now all right, this is what Robert Livingston like. This is what he likes to do. Now let's go recruit to what he likes to do, right? You recruited players and you added him last. So now you're recruiting players that now you know what he wants on defense. Now you know the attributes of a player that he needs on defense for you to be successful. And you talk about the linebacker position, and now you need athletic linebackers, because if you're going to run a lot of man, you need linebackers that can cover. You need linebackers that can go fly around on the field and go sideline to sideline. So now you're starting to see the adjustment period to now the recruiting phase of the defense based upon the defensive coordinator that was there versus the defensive coordinator that was previously there is what you recruited to. So now you're starting to see the waves of recruiting and the way it's going on defense. Looking at the way we're recruiting on defense, what would be the biggest area that you want to see improve on the defensive side of the ball from 2023 to 2024 to 2025?
Again, I think they've done it every year. Like you say, we didn't have a lot to pick from defensive line wise. So we had to go with what we had. We had some kids that came in that winter portal that hit it in the spring portal that we thought was gonna help us out. So we had to go with what we had. We did a great upgrade this year, bringing in guys like the Block Bully, and Corn Barnes, TC. I wish TC would have stayed healthy, but you got a guy like Buell who came off the bench and gave us something. So we upgraded from 23 to 24. And boy, if y'all ain't watched these last few well off videos, these 25 kids that's been down here drinking this Florida water, boy, they ready. They ready. And they chomping at the bit. They got a sour taste in their mouth. Listen, I want y'all to understand that these kids, I know people say, "Oh, we lost," and man, y'all think these kids gonna hit the portal because we didn't know? No. I don't think none of these kids got a nasty taste in their mouth. These kids are upset. These kids were just as hurt as the kids that played. And again, I hate to keep saying this. If you listen to the press conference, Cam told y'all, "Hey man, them young kids, we got some guys in here, and they ready, and they sitting in that locker room, and they chomping at the bit to go to work." Like these guys know what they like. They know what we got in the locker room. They know what we got coming back. So yes, you have seen the elevation of that defensive line room every year since Coach Prime has been there. From that first year to what we got this year, and then what we expected from the guys that we got coming in right now. And when you got a kid like Odom's coming in, you got a kid in the transfer portal like Odom's coming in to go in there to maybe be the next block bully for us. You got Barnes coming back. TC will be back. You got Amari McNeil coming back. You got all those kids. You got about 5 or 6 kids, and then you got Hudson coming in as a true freshman. And he like I say, he got that dog in him. He down here in Orlando right now, getting ready for the Under Armour game. I think it's him, Smitty and Juju. They down in
No,
Orlando right.
Smitty's in Alabama right now. He's not there.
Oh, so is he? He might. I thought he was playing in one of them other All-Star games. I thought he might be playing in the Army.
He's not in the Under Armour.
So he must be playing in the Army, the East West. Okay,
Yeah,
but so we got kids down here, but these kids are chomping at the bit. But yes, you saw the elevation every year in this defensive line, and so I'm expecting great things from them this year. We led the Big 12 in sacks, thanks to great additions like B.J. Green, Sam Okwanoa, Dalen Hayes when he was healthy. So we got the stuff we need, and we got great coaches. So whoever we add to coach those defensive ends, I guarantee you they're gonna come in and work hard because that's what Coach Sapp and Coach Lewis that's what they're gonna make you do, because you can't sit around and not be hungry and ready to go at it when you around those type of guys.
Rob, why didn't you tell me Block had an extra year? His pop is trying to get him to come back to the Buffs instead of the draft. Really, it's going to be his decision. That's what I'll say. There's a lot of rules and regulations and gray areas and loopholes in NCAA. So when it comes to extra years of eligibility, there's always a way to find a year extra of eligibility, depending on who the player is. I can't say if he's gonna be back or not. I mean, he's got some things that he's gonna take care of. He's basically gonna try to do everything he can to see what his draft grade is. And if he likes his draft grade, he's gonna go to the draft. If he don't, he potentially can come back.
On this, what I'll tell y'all guys: if he plays in Aloha Bowl or whatever that bowl is, he gonna have to go. He won't be able to come back after that. So I think he'll make the decision before then, because I think if he plays in that bowl game, he can't come back. So we should know something within the next 2 weeks.
You're gonna definitely know something within the month. I can tell you that. Because East and West Shrine game is on. January 30th.
Sports highlight. He does have another year because of the new rule that just came out. I think you're gonna see a few. You're gonna see a couple of other kids that they thought was gonna have to get pushed out and go to the draft. They might end up coming back because the new rule that NCAA did with the JUCO thing. So that's the biggest thing. So yeah, he does have another year. He has another year, guys, because of the new rule. But it's just up to him and him looking at his draft grade, seeing where he is or where he's gonna be drafted, and like I say, then he'll make a decision.
I,
Uh,
I, I can tell you right now, if it's anywhere in the range from 3 to 5, he's probably going to draft. I'm just gonna be real. If he gets a draft grade or a promise from a team that he's gonna get drafted between rounds 3 to 5, he's more likely he's gone. If he don't like the draft grade that he's got, then he's coming. He's gonna probably come back. That's how I look at it, right? He's one of those guys that he knows his worth at Colorado. He's not in a lose-lose situation whether he comes back or not. Just like a Preston Hodge, they're not in a lose-lose situation. They understand that, I can tell you right now, Black Bully don't like the way this stuff ended. I can tell you that for a fact. He don't like the way stuff ended. So that might give him a reason to come back. Plus, his brother's still there, having another year to play with his brother. There are some things that can entice him to come back to the University of Colorado versus going to the NFL draft. Think about, what probably is the potential money he's going to make between rounds 3 to 5. Could he possibly make that money at Colorado? You know what I'm saying? So anyway it go, if he stays, he's gonna get taken care of. I can tell you that. He's gonna get taken care of. You can lock him in as a starter. And now, you got your leader. You got your leader on the defense he ain't taking nothing. You gonna see it. You gonna feel it. So if we get him back, man, these next couple of weeks we're gonna find out a lot of who's coming back, who's not coming back. And really who's going to hit the portal because they got pretty much 3 days left. The game was Saturday, so you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They got to make a decision by Thursday. So if anybody else is leaving off this team, they got to leave by Thursday. So you're going to know something within the next couple of weeks of what's going to happen because a lot of these kids that are seniors, that are draft eligible, can potentially play in the ball. And a guy like Herman Smith, you already seen him make a decision. He's out of eligibility. He's gone. So you got to Thursday. So you're gonna know what's gonna happen by Thursday. For a lot of these kids, especially if they're hitting the portal. Now, if you're talking about draftable people, they got past Thursday. But for people that's gonna probably hit the portal and leave the program, they got till Thursday.
yeah, I think the guys that's not like the juniors and the red shirt sophomores, they have I think up to something like somewhere in February to make a decision if they're going drafted. Hey guys, I feel what y'all saying, right? But the offense is not going. Again, I keep telling y'all, the offense is not going to look the way it looked last year. Uh, just simply because it's not Shador pulling the trigger. You get what I'm saying? Like, if y'all like NFL, go watch Peyton Manning and go watch Tom Brady. Those the kind of guys that Shador was like. They were really, they had an offensive coordinator and he was helping them manufacture but Shador, when he's on the field, he again, y'all listen, Shador said and told y'all on more than one occasion, I'm the coach on the field. Next year is gonna look more like how it looked in Utah. You're gonna see a lot more running. You're gonna see a lot more play action. You're gonna see a lot more 11 personnel and stuff like that, guys. So I don't want y'all. I'm not saying that y'all wrong. I'm just saying that y'all got to you got to be patient and give it time to see what it's gonna look like without Shador. And again, you can go back to YouTube, guys. Those first, especially Shador's first couple years at Jackson. Go back and look at it. It's on YouTube, guys. You can see that that's not the same Shador that you got right now. Whoever was calling the plays, he was running the plays the coach was calling. He wasn't audibly out of a lot of those plays.
Bartolone
Okay.
was the second year. TC was the first year.
Well,
And
no.
what's the name?
Coach, what do you
Pollard.
call it? First, Coach
Pollard.
first
Yeah,
OC.
Pollock was calling first year. Then it was TC. Then it went to Bartolone.
He came in mid-season. Coach Prime made a change mid-season like he did last year with Lewis and Shermer, and then the next season he brung in Bartolone. So if, like I say, you saw the maturation of a guy into an offense. You get what I'm saying, guys? So y'all just be patient and give it time. I don't think the offense is going to look like it looked this year, because those guys will not have that kind of control over the offense like Shedeur did.
Yeah, every coach that's worked with Shedeur offensive wise was at the University of Colorado. So you had a mixture of Bartolone. You had outside of TC, which is the head coach of Jackson State. Everybody he worked that caught plays was in Colorado. So Pollock, Bartolone, and Pat. So you had a combination of all three of them this season. And which is why you seen the elevation at the tight end room. You went out and you went and got 3 tight ends, actual true tight ends, right? The smallest one is 6'4", 240. The biggest one is 6'6", 250, 260. So we went and recruited, right? All the areas where y'all think we're gonna fail at, you're gonna be surprised next year that we're gonna be a lot stronger in those areas. I know everybody is on this train about the linebacker room and how y'all feel about Hart. Y'all can feel whatever way y'all want to feel about Hart. He ain't going nowhere. Whether y'all wanna be mad, sad, or indifferent, the only thing that you can hope is for Hart to get elevated, because that's the way you're gonna see him leave. He's been with Coach Prime. He gonna stay with Coach Prime, just like Coach Mathis.
Hey, I got a question for y'all in the chat. So I know we talking about the linebackers and Coach Hart, and Rob kind of told y'all what it is. But guys, so Coach Hart, so when they had the best defense at Jackson State, y'all know Aubrey Miller was the best player on that team, and Coach Hart was his coach. And Coach Hart is the person that he tells all the time is the one who got me ready to play, who made me who I am. Okay, on they weren't just the number one defense in the HBCU realm; they was the number one defense in the country. Okay, now Everybody feels that Bentley made a grave jump from this year from last year to this year. Well, Coach Hart was that guy, with the help of Coach Hilo coming in, and I'm with that. Montez Walker is gonna be that guy. He's gonna be that guy, fellas. He's gonna be that guy. He's a guy, but you also got a guy that's being like Gage Goldberg. Gage Goldberg went on every trip. He was on every special team. And when I saw him get in the game, in the bowl game, I like what I saw out of Gage. You got the kid Garcia that's there. So I think, guys, again, I just need y'all to be patient and give it time to work. Every time that the defenses, Coach Prime's defenses have been the best, the linebacker has had one of the biggest parts of that. And Coach Hart has always been his linebackers coach. So, guys, I just think that we too hasty to pass judgment. Like I said, and like I say, we can talk till we blue in the face. But Hart is not, as long as Deion, unless like you say, unless he gets elevated to a head coaching job, a defensive coordinator job, as long as Coach Hart, as long as Deion Sanders is coaching somewhere, Coach Hart will have a job. And it ain't got nothing. It's like me going to do a show and I ain't like me getting elevated and I'm not taking Rob with me. How that look? The guy that's been down with me from the dirt, Little League. These guys are out there coaching Little League guys, and I don't know if you ever coached Little League, especially the little babies, hey, and stuff of that nature, coming up through the ranks to where, hey guys, Coach Hart has 3 state championships under his resume. Y'all do know he was a head coach in high school. He just went with Coach Hart got, when Coach Prime took the Jackson job, he went with him. Coach Prime keeps, all I'm telling y'all is what's facts. Relationships matter. The people that you trust around you as a coach, especially a head coach, you got to have a circle of guys that you trust with everything. And believe you me, Coach Hart and Coach Mathis are those guys for Coach Prime. So if those guys don't get elevated or decide to go coach somewhere else, wherever Prime is, you can believe that Harden Mathis is gonna be there. And y'all can cry till y'all blue in the face if you want to.
It's not hard. It's his recruiting. Everyone doing well in recruiting except him. How do you know that? Because I think this is the biggest problem that I don't understand with people, right? When you talk about linebackers, what do linebackers need in front of them? Don't they need a defensive line in front of them? Hey, I'm remember when y'all talked about the linebackers last year, right? And I kept telling y'all is once the defensive line improves, the linebacking play will get better. Remember y'all harped about Hill Green going to make all these plays? What happened? The defensive line got better. That's how you're able to make plays. It's like a running back. You need an offensive line in front of you to create holes for you to go run through them. If not, you're not going to be successful. So when y'all harp about the linebackers, hey, what's going on in front of them that's not allowing them to play freely to make them go make plays? Do we not think about this? This is logics. But the first thing we want to do is, hey man, it's that coach. What about the players that's playing in front of them? Don't they take some kind of part into this?
Rob, hold on, Rob. How are the position coaches letting us down, right? Y'all, everybody think Nakai Hill Green was the best linebacker, right? Well, let's just put this out here. And like I said, we just talking facts. When we played against Kansas, Kansas ran for almost 200 yards with Nakai Hill Green in the game, right? These guys didn't even go for 100. How is Hart letting y'all down? All you can do is coach it up. It's on those guys to go out there and produce, guys. Like, I think y'all putting too much onus on that. If some of these coaches probably could go out there and do what if they do, and what I'm telling you is, Coach Prime has always been honest with y'all, right? He come if the coaching was bad, he done came in the press conference and say, hey, we did it bad, but on a couple of those losses, he straight told y'all it's not none of the coach's fault. They wrote up a great plan, they put it in place, we just didn't execute, and that's just sometimes what happens, guys.
I got something for you. I want you to go take any coach, any linebacker coach that you want out of America, and put them on this Colorado team, and I want to see if there's going to be really of a difference. Right? They got the same players. Don't change the players. Because the problem that y'all got is sometimes y'all go evaluate people because they have talent in that room. But what happens when that coach don't got talent? What happens? I'm gonna give you an example without even Alabama has the same exact roster this year that they had last year, almost to the T. But outside a couple players, right? And what do they look like this year versus what they look like last year? I'm just being honest.
Hey, y'all, pull up what DeAndre said, because that hits it on the head.
It doesn't matter what linebackers you get. If you don't control the line of scrimmage, you're going to struggle. Hart did a good job this year. Linebackers played great most of the year. It's just that simple, man. But that's always been the case.
Listen. If you don't believe me, y'all, everybody, since y'all football folks, go watch Ray Lewis and go watch his Hall of Fame speech. God bless his soul, he got Ray Saragusa down there with him, and he says, "I'm nothing without Ray, without Saragusa. I'm not the best linebacker y'all ever seen. I'm not a Hall of Famer because he took up two guys and did his job. I am who I am." Just point blank, period, baby. In football, it takes 11 people doing their job to make a play work. So we tried to tell people that last year. Yes, I don't think the linebacker play was great last year, but also we know the defensive line play wasn't great nowhere. And we were getting pushed back into the linebackers. If your defensive line is getting pushed back into your linebackers' lap, your linebackers can't go nowhere.
Facts.
Your linebackers can't go anywhere. So you gotta, like you say, everybody got to do their job. 10 people can do their job right, and one person can mess up, and it can be a touchdown on defense. Same thing with offense. You can have the best play call and one person messes up, don't do their job on that play, and the play don't work right. And then now we throwing stones at other people when it's just one person that messed up on that play. And that's what I be trying to get y'all to look at. And I understand that we're all, and I'm not talking to you guys like, because how y'all talking is fine. We have no objections to people not agreeing with us, because we know people don't agree with us. That's cool. And how y'all see what y'all see. But what we saying is, as long as you're respectful in your presentation and what you're saying, hey guys, we can sit here and talk all day, and we have time to do that. We'll do that, because we have no problems with people questioning what we talking about or saying y'all don't agree. That's fine. I promise you it's fine. Again, this is a positive space. We have a lot of people that watch us that respect the way that way that we have done things and have told us on many different occasions, and that's the way that we're gonna do it. But as long as you guys are respectful, we cool with it.
Listen, it's I get it, right? A lot of people go from platform to platform just to hear what everybody has to say. And you get a couple people to say this and just run with that narrative. But sometimes you just got to make stuff make sense. And when people blame Coach Hart in a sense and the linebacker play, do you ever take into account about the defensive line play and what's going on there? Now, if the defensive line play is not good, the linebacker play ain't gonna be good. I don't care. You can put 2 Hall of Fame linebackers back there. If the defensive line play ain't good, that's gonna be the results. It's just a connection. That's just a matter of what it is. That's all we saying. You can take it for a grain of salt. You can take it for whatever it is. You can go argue wherever you want to go argue with, right? I don't care about what you say in the chat, to be honest with you. I really don't. It's just a lot of things that's being said just don't make sense.
Hey, the main man, no, what we're telling you is the Kansas game, we just missed tackles. That was a great game plan. They was beating the guys up front. We just straight up missed tackles. Ain't nothing. Go watch. Did you watch that game? We're telling you that when y'all come in, when people come, we're not saying that you said it, but we're saying when people come in here and jump down Coach Hart, oh, the linebackers this, the linebackers that. We're saying sometimes if your defensive line is getting pushed back, or they're not getting pushed, that it's hard for the linebackers to flow like they should. But in the Kansas game, we just missed tackles. We
was flat out sitting in the hole and missed them. We squared up to them
in the hole. We was meeting people in the backfield. We just missed tackles. Kansas State game was just football. That's what football looks like when you play football. When you play a football game, a good football game. Football is not 50-0. That's not a football game. That's just you just came and got your behind whooped. Kansas State game was a good football game. They threw punches, knocked us down. We threw punches, knocked them down. It was a drag. It was just a good football game, and we just came up on the bad end of the decision. That's all that happened in that game. But no, we just missed tackles when we played Kansas. No ifs, ands, and buts. No. Yeah, I respect that. The man right here. I'm just telling you, bro. That I don't think that it was the D line play against Kansas. I just think we didn't tackle well. I mean, Cam came right out and told y'all. He said, man, we just missed tackles. Livingston dialed that thing up that night. We just missed tackles. We just did not tackle well. And once you get a kid like that, with that kind of a bruiser type of back, like I think that Welch can be that kind of back. When you get a back like that who running downhill and running through arm tackles all night, as a linebacker and a DB, your arms go to hurting. So you get tired of tackling that body. So after a while, like the body, like they just start getting tired. They just start getting tired. And like I say, sometimes you can dial that thing up and it just don't work.
I don't think it's necessary. What the biggest thing on defense, you want to have a great defensive line. Because with a great defensive line, it allows you to do a lot of different things where you don't have to bring extra people. When you got a great defensive line that you can get out there with 3 people, 4 people, that makes your whole back end better. And a lot of times y'all talk about, man, play zone, but sometimes it was hard for us to play zone if we ain't getting the quarterback to the ground, like defensive line doing their job, but then the quarterback's still upright making throws. So I don't necessarily think that we need. I think the biggest perception is everybody wants Hart to have this big time linebacker name, right? To make them feel good. But like I keep saying, if the interior of the defense is not good, it don't matter who's back there. Everybody's upset because we didn't get this linebacker, we didn't get that linebacker, or this linebacker. At the end of the day, there's going to be somebody out there to play. And there's going to be somebody that's going to step up and there's going to be able to do the job. But if our defensive line does not do anything, it doesn't matter. And I don't think our defensive line is not going to do something with Sapp and D. Lou there. I just don't see it happening, right? So, it's going to get better in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see everybody get better. The man right here, the main man. I want to see everybody get better, and I think we've upgraded. I think with what we got coming back on the defensive line and the guys that we got coming in, I think we're set on the defensive line. Again, we didn't see Carter this year.
How do you know that? Like, how do you know that they wouldn't start Gage, Garcia, or Bo? How do you know that? Based on what perception, based upon what knowledge, what research, what video do you have that they wouldn't start on somebody else's team in conference? You've never seen them really play. They haven't put that on film. So in a game. So what knowledge do you have to say they wouldn't start? Like y'all gotta remember. Y'all gotta remember something. Hold on, Dre. Y'all gotta remember something.
When did they start? He said
y'all gotta remember something. Hold on, Dre. Let me say this. Y'all gotta remember something. Are you going to start a true freshman at linebacker? Ask yourself that. Or do you want to give him a year to develop to understand what's going on? Come on, man. Like, be real, man. We gotta be real, man. We just saying whatever right now. This is crazy. Go ahead, Coach Dre.
What? No, I'm just asking what. I'm asking when did they start? He said other teams would not start Gage, Garcia, or who, or both in our conference. I don't, like I say, bro. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that Gage Goldberg has came in here and shown enough to get on special teams. He dressed every game. I don't. All I go by is what I see. I can't go by what, you get what I'm saying, in a little bit that I do get, that I am privileged to know. But when I look on every trip, 55 is dressed and on the football field. That's just what I saw. Developing. Here's the thing, guys. With the state that college football is, how many kids are really staying around to be developed?
Facts. That's facts.
How many kids are really staying around to be developed?
That's the perception that a lot of people don't realize right now that's going on.
So that's our biggest thing. Like, okay, so let's just say off of what you're saying. Let's just say Gage and Garcia go to another school and they ball out. Well, who developed them? If they go to a school right now, they transfer and go to a school and they ball out, who are we going to give the credit to for developing those guys?
I'm waiting, man.
I just want to understand where y'all coming from. You get what I'm saying? When y'all say that, all you can do is coach what you have in the building. Like, that's why I said Bentley. I know I heard a lot of people had a problem with Bentley last year, but Bentley stepped up big time this year. So who do we give the credit for Bentley's development to?
Man,
I don't think we can take full credit. I don't think we can take full credit for all of Nakahia Green because he started at Charlotte. So he was at Charlotte. Somebody put that work into him. Now he came to over here and got some more work and put the work in, and we helped develop more than what he was already. But I think a guy like Nakahia Green was already developed. So that's all I'm saying. So what I'm going by is what I see as a true freshman. Okay. Jordan Seaton, he's a freshman All-American. Cash Cleveland, freshman All-American. You got to give Coach Loweholz his flowers campus because he developed them. But again, they coming from a powerhouse down here in IMG, and I'm telling y'all, I'm from here. I know what IMG is. It's a mini college. Like IMG campus probably better than most. Might be better than some Division II campuses. Probably better than most HBCU just pure campuses. The kids that come from IMG, they're already away from home. So they already know what college life kind of looks like. There's nothing new to them. So that's why it's easy for those guys to adjust when they come in. But development is, go ahead.
Because right to this point, right? How many colleges are starting true freshmen? Let's just be real. How many colleges are starting true freshmen? That's why it's like when you say something like that, it doesn't even resonate. Like, why come out and say because you don't like Hart into what he's doing to say, well, these colleges wouldn't even start this dude. They're true freshmen. How many true freshmen are you really actually seeing on a football collegiate field? Like that's just it. You got to start somewhere, right? And so as a true freshman, you're going to come in, you're going to take your lumps, you're going to do this, right? You can't put everybody and make everybody a Jordan Seaton at their position. And that's the problem. We want everybody to be Jordan Seaton at their position when they're freshmen. They supposed to come in, they're supposed to play. And that's not it. That's not how college football works at the collegiate level. It's just don't. Just because you was a man at your high school team don't mean you're going to be the man in college. It don't work like that. And so I get why people have this knack or why they upset with Hart and this, that, and the third. But it's like you got to give time for development. The key thing is a lot of these kids don't want to take the time to develop. They just want to go to a winning situation and say they was in a winning situation and forget about the development piece. And Prime telling you, listen, if you come here, you listen to what we say and you develop, this is what you're going to be to help you get to the next level where you want to go.
Hey, OBI, you right. But that's we're not saying Colorado. Colorado is different. Coach Prime, we're not talking about Colorado. We're talking about other guys. That's why Coach Prime doesn't go get a whole bunch of guys from high school because the guys he gets, he wants them to come in and compete. And right now, let's just look at the guys he brought in last year. Every kid that he brought in last year, they played some kind of role on the team. Only reason Cam McHale didn't play was because he got hurt. Draylon played. Jordan Seaton started. Cash ended up starting. Like I said, Gage Goldberg was on a lot of the special teams. Michael Welch played a whole bunch. So the guys that he brung in that were freshmen, they played. These freshmen that he got coming in right now, these guys are expecting to come in here and play. They're not thinking they finna come in here and sit. They finna come in here and push themselves to play. But a place like Alabama, a place like here in Gainesville, the University of Florida, it's not a lot of freshmen on the field. It's not a lot of freshmen on the football field. And that's the main reason why why y'all think they cut down? Why do you think they cut down the roster spots like they did? That's the reason they cut down the roster. Go ahead.
I need you to do me one favor. I need you to go look up how many true freshmen have started at linebacker at the division at P4 level. Go name. Go and you'll be amazed of what you're saying of this, right? You take Prime's statement and you try to use it for everybody. Everybody is not meant to play as a freshman. It's just that simple.
Again, like I told y'all, it's hard pressed at places like that's the reason why they now I do believe that you're gonna see a lot more true freshmen get a lot more playing time because of the roster cut down, not because of the playing, but that's the main reason why they did this. What they're doing is because a place like Alabama, like Ole Miss, the big time schools, you had an overabundance of kids. And nobody was playing. Texas A&M signed the #1 class in 2003, guys. It's only 2 kids left. They signed 25 to 26 kids. It's only 2 kids left on that team.
Facts.
That they signed in 2023, and it was the best recruiting class in the country. It's only 2 kids left on that team.
Hey, Jay, take it a step further. It's a lot of programs. If you go and look at their 23 23 class right now, majority of that class ain't even on their roster. And you can go look at every Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon. You can go look at anybody's roster right now. That 23 class that everybody had this, this top ranked recruiting class, majority, over half of that recruiting class is not even on a roster no more. So you want to tell me that kids sticking around for development?
And then today, guys, just today, and not even this ain't even in football and basketball. You got kids suing universities because they say they were lied to about NIL money. And right now, that's what it's really boiling down to, guys. As much as we don't I don't like to admit it, and I don't like that that's the way it's going. It's about what they can do for them. And again, that's why I tell y'all, everybody is not for CU. Because Coach Prime is not in the business of giving you something for nothing. You get what I'm saying? And some of these schools are promising these kids the world, and then they get there and they don't get it. And then that's why those guys leave, because they just didn't get what was coming to them. You get what I'm saying? The NC State coach last year say his third string running back came in at the end of the year for meetings and was like, "Hey, coach, we need to talk." The first, he didn't want to talk about, he the third string running back. He didn't want to talk about his playing time. Nothing. Hey, coach, we got to talk about the number. What the number gonna look like? If it ain't this right here, I'm gonna hit the transfer portal. Like, so that's why I say, guys, everybody ain't for Colorado. Colorado is different. But what y'all gonna see is y'all gonna see this same kind of thing start happening. Watch Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick ain't really gonna be going for that hoop like y'all hollering. Hey man, listen, okay, we got NIL money, we willing to pay you and all this here, but ain't nobody finna be paying you for nothing. If you ain't doing something, you gonna have to come here and earn this money. We'll set up you some where you can get some deals and do this, and this, but us just handing you a check and saying, here you go. We can't do that.
Right.
We can't do that. You get what I'm saying? So that's all we saying, guys, is that in this day and age, everybody want things microwave, but I don't really like microwave food. Like this Christmas when y'all ate food, y'all wanted food from the microwave? Y'all wanted fast food? Y'all wanted to go to Chick-fil-A or whatever your best fast food restaurant is and eat? No, y'all wanted mama or your wife or your grandma them or whoever to cook some real food. That you wanted them greens and ham and macaroni and cheese and all that stuff. Hey, well, that take time. That take time to cook. And that's the way Coach Prime coaches. Like, he ain't trying to get it microwave. Again, every coach gonna tell you he wants to win now because that's the process. Nobody's giving nobody no time. Coach Prime has showed you that I got to do this way because nobody's giving me time. But now he's proven. Now, guys, we can sit back and be patient, give the man the time he needs to get the players in that he wants. It ain't the players that we want. We can want every 5-star that hit the portal. That ain't gonna happen. And let me just fill y'all in on something. All them kids that's 5 stars, again, Dion told you I can make a phone call and make a kid a 5-star, because if Quentin Gibson that's coming to the University of Colorado, if he ain't a 5-star, I don't know who is.
Well, he ain't.
You playing big boy football in the state of Texas. You done beat the best. You done beat what arguably was going to be considered one of the best teams to ever play in Duncanville in Texas. You missed the Texas in football, but they saying this kid a 3 or 4-star. Come on, so that lets you know just how good the star system is.
The measurables. You know how that go. You don't fit the measurable bills. You know how that goes. So, but shout out to Lawrence for the $10 super chat. Do you know why Coach Phil only signed a 1-year deal? The majority of the predictors or CU 6 or not 7 wins or having another losing season. I had 8. Did they leave food on the table? Yes, but still. I'll say this. Part 2 of that reason was because they were still paying the previous coach. Because if you don't know, the previous coach style, most of them had signed 2 to 3 year deals. So CU was paying out money to former coaches in those positions. So that's why when you look at CU's in a better position right now to constructively go get assistant coaches and pay them. Not saying that they wasn't going to pay Phil Longhorse or anything like that. It's just a lot of money is off the table now. A lot of the contracts are over with that they was paying people in the past for, because they signed 2 or 3 year contracts. So now a lot of coaches was left with a 1 year contract that was up for renewal. So it just happened that I think Desi contract was up for renewal. So with them all leaving, would all make business sense wise, like the coaches that's leaving, the contract was really up, so they haven't re-signed a new deal with TU. So they technically really after that game didn't have a contract. So they made the best decision for them. That's what I would say in that situation. When it goes to what happened, in that sense of that Ram, is because the previous coach Bill O'Boy was still on contract. He signed. I want to say his contract was 3 years, but he got him to sign for just 1 more year. So that's part of the reason. So you have some money to go sign coaches right now. I can tell you that. So I wouldn't.
Financial choices. Yeah, I don't think nobody's leaving, bro. I can understand that Coach Lohos was in on a lot of those, but our recruiting staff, Coach Corey and Box, was the main recruiters for those guys. And again, I think we take out of the conclusion the kids. If y'all notice that, I'm just taking Smitty for example. Smitty was going wherever Juju was. You get what I'm saying? Like when Juju was thinking about Auburn, Auburn popped up on Smitty's thing. When Juju committed to when Juju committed to USC, Smitty did. And so once Colorado came into the realm with Juju, same thing happened with Smitty. So yeah, guys, I don't think we'll lose any guys to follow Coach Lodehost. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you I'm 100% sure that that's not going to happen, but I'm pretty confident that most of those guys will stay. Because, like I say, not only did they get a relationship with Phil Lodehost, but the recruiting staff and guys like Smitty, he got a relationship with Coach Prime. And y'all got to also understand that the biggest thing is that we got Coach Big George in there. And Big George was the offensive line coach at IMG before he came to the University of Colorado. So we do have people in the room that have ties with those, that still has ties with those guys, and is gonna still make them feel comfortable. So yeah, I don't think nobody will be leaving, bro. I don't think nobody will be leaving.
Man, I don't think nobody's gonna leave either. Just to put that. But I would say this: once things play out and then new coaches come in, I don't think you guys will be upset with what Prime is gonna hire. That's what I'm gonna say right now. You don't have to agree with me. I truly don't care. But what I would say too, in a sense, when all the dust settles and when all the new coaching change happens, I don't think a lot of people will be upset. You'll be surprised by who we hire. I will say that you will probably be surprised with who we hire, but I don't think you're gonna be upset with what we got, what we're gonna potentially bring in. And that's the biggest thing, right? When you look back at this overall and the trajectory of Colorado, the arrow's pointing up. And a lot of y'all gonna have some pain points of you think that y'all don't like, or y'all feel that we need to correct anything like that. But if you don't think that they're gonna turn that tape on from that BYU game and look at the deficiencies and try to fix those deficiencies going to next year, you're crazy. Because they're gonna do everything outside the rim to fix that. And Coach Prime already told you the coaching staff that he's going to elevate the coaching staff, right? He's going to improve on what we have, right? Whatever that building block was, and you've seen it grow from 1 year to the next year with the offensive line. You've seen growth from the wide receivers from 1 year to the next year. You've seen growth from the cornerbacks from 1 year to the next year. You've seen growth from the linebackers from 1 year to the next year. You've seen growth from the defensive line to the next year. So what are we really talking about? Just stay patient, and you're going to see the growth from 1 year to the next year. And that's what's going to happen in this next year with the new coaching staff that's coming in. And we're not done in recruiting as far as the portal go. There's there's still some guys that going to hit the portal that's still playing football right now that Colorado is going to have an opportunity to get. So you got to be patient and let things play out. There, within the next couple of weeks, you're going to see what this coach staff really looks like.
Hey, Guru, whatever your name, Garo. Hey, listen, I said this before, but bro, there will be no disrespect with the ladies, bro. Like by no stretch of the imagination. Like we not going for that, like at all. You get what I'm saying? Like we don't mind people talking and having their own opinions, but disrespecting them first ladies, that's just not gonna happen. Okay, so I'm just giving you fair warning while you down there talking. Back to OB. I wasn't saying that I thought that this year's Duncanville team was better than last year. I just thought I think you like I'm saying coming into this year, they were saying because they won state last year that they had a chance to be better than be one of the best teams ever at Duncanville. So I didn't think that Duncanville because the Duncanville team last year I did think was a little better because I got to see them play a couple of times. But yeah, I mean it's uh choices. I think we can run block. I didn't think we couldn't run block. I just think this is the one thing I think. I think that we just didn't run the ball enough. I don't think that we couldn't run block. I just don't think we ran the ball enough. And then with our running backs, I just felt like every time they had a good game or we had production, they got hurt. They got hurt. And then unbeknownst to a lot of y'all, it's a couple of the offensive linemen that they played hurt most of the year, but they didn't complain, they didn't cry, they didn't make any excuses, and that's why we're not here to make excuses. But they played hurt, and they played injured because they wanted to be out there with their brothers and try to protect too. But I don't think we need. I think we can run block. I'm not saying that we don't need to work on it because I agree with that. I think we need to work on everything. I think that's always a focus of being an offensive lineman is you got to work on every technique, all your stuff, all the time. So I do agree with that, but I just think we just didn't run the ball enough. That's it. I just don't think we did run the ball
I'm gonna say this to Obi, right? I said we did see growth in the tight ends. Whether you agree with me or disagree, it's okay. I think we did see growth. We seen a tight end more this year than we seen last year. We actually seen them. I'll say this: if Sam Hart doesn't get hurt, you see more two tight ends sets on the field because Sam Hart tore his ACL. That's what stopped us from going to two tight ends on the field because that's what they really want to do. They really want to go with two tight ends on the field. Sam Hart gets hurt, that changes everything they want to do now, right? So now you just have Savell Small, so they were utilizing the most. Now, is it to where it fits to what you want us to do? Probably didn't. And that's probably why you didn't feel like it was growth in the room. But the way we utilized the tight end and what we asked the tight end to do was more than what we did last year. We didn't see a tight end last year. Let's be real. Mike Harrison was not a tight end. He's a wide receiver that was just flanked out in a position that looked like the tight end. That's it. But the growth in the room and what was asked for them to do, and I think that's the problem. What was asked for them to do was growth because we did not do that last year. Once again, Mikey is a wide receiver that was just flanked out in the tight end's position. We didn't really ask Mikey to do anything but go catch the ball. We actually asked the tight end to go block. That's the difference. So there was some growth. I would say that. We can agree to disagree. I don't care. But I'm just giving out examples of we did see some growth. You got anything else, Coach Dre? Before we get up out of here, you guys got any questions? Listen, we're gonna do a Q&A for the next 10 minutes. Do a Q&A, get out all the questions y'all gonna get out. We're gonna answer them, and so we can move forward, right? Because going into 2025, man, we're gonna be focused on this new class of 2025. I mean, this new team of 2025 and things like that. And this year, what the Buffs gave us, hey man, be thankful, be happy, because it is hard to win in college football, and I think a lot of y'all don't understand that. It's hard to win in college football. Let me see. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Northside, I want you to give me a reason why we should hire Matt McChesney. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just want you to give me a reason why you think we should hire Matt McChesney.
Oh no, I'm a little show right quick.
Yeah. Send me some. Skull Bus. Okay. Thoughts on Person Hodge eligibility? Well, he has 1 year eligibility left just due to the transfer portal rule. So it's really his decision what he wants to do. Whether it's go to the NFL or come back for another year. In my opinion, and this is just me talking, I think he's going to come back just because of his injury, and allow his body to get healthy, not have to rush to try to get his body healthy to NFL. But also, I don't know what his financial situation is. You know what I'm saying? And if he's just ready to make that jump and he's done with college, so I don't want to per se, what he can and what he won't do. I would just say in this matter, I think President Hodge will probably come back. That's just me. Will Coach Prime have a scholarship limit at 85 for difference? No, the limit is 105 now. So if you don't know, everybody across the board in P4 is going to have a scholarship limit of 105 now. So nobody is going to be at 85. Everybody's going to be at 105. What I would probably tell you is, in this situation, Coach Prime is going to leave some scholarships open. So we probably won't ever be at the 105 number. We're probably, if I had to put my money on it, between 97 to 100. And he's going to leave at least 5 to 6 scholarships open. Just so if anything happens, he can bring somebody on if he needs to pick somebody up middle of the season, end of the season. You have the ability to. So for me, us having the limit over 85 to 105, we gonna sit anywhere between 95. I'm gonna say 95 to 100, with at least 5 to 6 scholarships open. So that's what I would say the number is. For it, you're gonna see what a lot of teams are going to do, especially the ones that's over the 105 limit right now, is a lot of these teams are going to play it out to the spring, and you're going to see a big amount of people hit the portal in the spring. The reason why the spring is so valuable is because any kids that's leaving an SEC school can't go to an SEC school in the spring portal. So you have an advantage right there of SEC school kids not being able to go to SEC schools. So that gives you opportunity to snag some SEC kids. So that plays a part. But when you talk about our limit of what Coach Prime more likely is going to do, he's probably going to stay anywhere between 95 to 97 scholarship kids, and 97 to 105 is what he's going to have open. Just due to the fact of, if something happens, a coach gets fired or anything like that, you don't have to cut somebody to gain somebody. You already have the spot open. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be on the roster for 2025.
Hey, but to technical T, I think you will see a special teams coach this year. I think because you have an unlimited number of coaches now, I think we will see a special teams coach. No, we didn't talk about the Jay Phillips stuff, bro. Like I say, we not harping on that negative stuff. Again, I can't judge a guy by the way he wants to run his football team. So, but I do think that Coach Prime will hire a special team coach this year. So I do look for them to have a special teams coach. Do I think go to the one where they say, do I think about Shador? I think somebody asked something about Shador.
Yeah, do you think Shador will be drafted by the Titans or the Browns?
I hope neither one. I don't want him to go to neither one of them programs. I don't think the Titans would draft a quarterback. Didn't the Titans draft a quarterback last year? Or was it the year before?
Year before. They've been drafting quarterbacks every goddamn year, if you have to be honest.
They've shown that they can't develop, they can't do right with a quarterback. So I don't want them to go there. And then if you go to I think Cleveland still owe Watson too much money. I think Cleveland's, even though he's talking about he'll redo his contract, I just think they owe him too much money. So yeah, I don't think neither one of them. I think it's either gonna be the Raiders or the Giants, guys. That's what I think it's gonna be.
Honestly, right now, who to target for the portal wise, still up in the air just because there's teams still playing. And once everybody is done playing, it's gonna be majority of the games, right? I'm not talking about the final four of the playoffs. I'm talking about everybody else that's still playing. Within the next week or so, it's gonna be easier to target who they after. Just know, I do know there's still some players that's being played on some of these teams that has reached out. Um, but will they fit Colorado? You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing is you don't want to bring somebody in to divide a room. You want somebody to come add value. And if it's anybody that we're targeting, the main question you got to ask yourself is what value do they add to the room? And if they don't add value to the room, why do we need them? So if you see us targeting a wide receiver, what value do that wide receiver bring that we don't already have? That's what you got to ask yourself. And so if you can't answer that question, you probably pretty much know that player ain't coming to Colorado. That's just the bottom line to it. Because if you turn on the tape, you watch a kid, and you like, oh, I like this kid. You could like the kid, but does the kid fit what the University of Colorado is trying to do and what they subtracted to what they add? Do they upgrade what's been subtracted out of that room, right? So if I'm going to go, and that's why I'm using wide receiver, right? If I'm going to go get a wide receiver, can they do more than what Will Shepard did? Can they match what a LeJounte did or Jimmy Horn did? If they can't do that, then why do we need them? That's just the bottom line. We want to upgrade what we have, not subtract what we had, and that's where you got to think about. Any thoughts on who might jump in the portal from CU or from to CU? From CU, I'm just gonna let it come out. That'd be my best answer. I'll just let it come out. I'm not gonna speculate who that person or individual might be. We're just gonna let it come out. That's what I say. Do you think another Hall of Fame will join the CU staff? That's still up in the air. Still up in the air. What I will say is you're going to be surprised who Prime hires and puts in these positions as the next edge coach and the offensive line coach. You might be a little surprised, but I don't think you're going to dislike it. What is the time frame to give our current walk-on scholarships?
No more walk-on.
There's really not a quote unquote time frame. But what I will say is, like every school, you're gonna have until the pretty much probably the spring. And that's when you're gonna see the big. Because going into the fall, you gotta already be at that 105. So you're gonna see some teams bend the rule, break the rule, and just let the NCAA final. That's what it is. But I think you'll get to that number by the springtime. I don't think that's gonna be made now. You're gonna go over. If you're smart, you'll go over right now and cut in the spring, and then bring in what you need to bring in because the more time that you got your eyes on guys, the more flexibility that you have to say, all right, this is where you stand on the roster. This is what it is. This is what it ain't. And you're going to see guys move on. What you got to realize is right now is that we're still going to add about another 15 to 20 guys left. Like we still are going to add another 15 to 20 guys. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys we're not finished to what we're doing because we're going to add another 15 to 20 guys. Do you think we will hire a QB coach now that we have two outstanding QBs? Well, Juju is going to be with select QBs, so I don't think necessarily we need to hire a QB coach because Juju's going to be select QBs.
Pat Sherman is the quarterback. Pat Sherman is the quarterback's coach, guys.
Yeah, I was just about to get that.
Yeah, Pat Sherman is our quarterback's coach. He's the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach. Same way Sean Lewis was. So yeah, we have a quarterback's coach. We're not I don't think we're gonna go out and just hire a quarterbacks coach. But I mean, you can now with unlimited coaching. So with unlimited coaching, you can go out and hire just a guy that's the quarterbacks coach if you wanted to. But I don't know if he's gonna do that or not. But right now, Coach Sherman is the quarterbacks coach.
Yeah. Let's see. What position Colorado needs to bring in talent to compete? Offensive line, linebacker, safety, or free safety. Honestly, the secondary, I think we're fine. I don't think we're gonna add too many more pieces in the secondary. If you're gonna see us add something, it's going to be trenches for sure. We don't need no more quarterbacks. We're pretty set at tight end. Wide receivers, we're potentially probably gonna add one or two more into that room. Just for us to be able to practice with the number of people that we need at the wide receiver position. So we'll probably add one or two at the wide receiver position. We'll probably add 3 to 4 offensive linemen, 3 to 4 potential defensive linemen. Linebackers, we're probably going to add at least 2 more there. Secondary, we're pretty much good, but we're going to add about 15, 20 people. So just know that. So that was just a little breakdown of position-wise what we potentially going to add. Answer a couple more questions, and we're about to get up out of here. We need to add a safety coach. Rob Lipson is a safety coach. Yeah. Let me see. If there's not any more questions, we better get up out this thing. Can you give us info that we would not know otherwise? It's been a great show in the background. CU is doing all they can to improve next year. Man, listen, CU is doing what they're gonna do to improve. Some things just happen, Coach Dre, how do you think Willie Simmons will do in amount of time? I asked that for Coach Dre, so because Coach Dre just dropped off. Willie Simmons is gonna be good, man. One of the things about Willie Simmons that a lot of people don't understand is Willie Simmons is a great recruiter in the state of Florida. He's well respected in the state of Florida. I think a lot of people forget about that, but he's gonna show because he has more resources, right? He didn't have the resource that he got now. He didn't have that at FAMU. So now that he has better resources, he's gonna get better talent. He's gonna better maneuver better things. And he knows that if he does it all right, being at a P5, not a P5, a group of 5, I should say, that he has the ability to create history, and that's one of the things that he's going to do. So Willie Simmons is going to be in a great situation. Shout out to Willie Simmons. Shout out to Mike Vick. Shout out to Deshaun Jackson. All getting head coaching job opportunities. Shout out to Alabama A&M. They just hired a new coach. I'm spacing out about his name, so I don't never want to forget about somebody. But shout out to all the black head coaches that just got hired. Shout out to the job that Fran Brown did this year at Syracuse. Give Franklin his credit. He won his first playoff game, so give him credit. Notre Dame, got to give him credit. So Sam. Yeah. So I don't want people to never forget about, it's all about, just Prime, and we forget about everybody else, because at the end of the day, it ain't really about black coaches versus white coaches. It's about just overall the ability to grow and elevate. And those are the things that we talk about more than anything, the room to grow and elevate and become something indifferent. But hey, Coach Dre, you got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, like he said, man, this is probably our last show before the new year. We want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope you had a great and blessed Christmas. Like y'all say, man, guys, going into the new year, we gonna be on the positive thing, and that's just in life, man. Because if you put yourself around a bunch of negative stuff, all that's gonna come out eventually is negative. all that eventually is going to come out in negative. And I understand that you guys want to just talk football, but it's more than football than X's and O's. And what these coaches are doing for these young men and what they're putting into their lives. Like I tell people, I don't coach football for wins and losses. I coach football to be in coach in young men's life and make them better. I win games because of the way I interact with my kids and the way I coach them and the way I love on them more than football. You get what I'm saying? So when you hear us say that, that's at least that's where me and Rob are coming from. Like he say, in this new year, you will see us talk a little bit more about other black head coaches because we have to uplift our culture. Nobody else is gonna do it. All they're gonna do is try to find a way to break us down. But if we go about it ourselves, breaking each other down, how y'all expect somebody else to try to lift us up when we breaking our own self down? Ain't nobody else got to break us down when we doing it to ourselves. So you will see us doing more shows on Norfolk State and Delaware State, giving those guys some light. Again, big shout out to TC Taylor and what he was able to do at Jackson State in year 2. That's a big thing, winning the Celebration Bowl for Jackson State. Very proud for that program and what they have done. Like you say, Fran Brown in his first year at Syracuse in the ACC, doing what he did, that's big. But over here at Rob the Man Media with myself, we're gonna always push this positive content. We're gonna always try to keep it uplifted. And like I say, it will be no disrespect of any women when they come in this room. Any women that's in this room talking and being positive, like they are our mods. They will send you out of here and don't come texting Rob asking about can you come back and all that other stuff. No, because we telling y'all right now going into the new year what we are and aren't gonna put up with. So I want you guys to be blessed. Y'all be safe. As I always say, forgive somebody, man. We talked about it at the beginning of the show, man. Forgive somebody. Ask for the forgiveness of you done wrong somebody because you stopping your blessings when if you holding some kind of animosity or some kind of hate or any kind of thing against somebody, you stopping your blessings. You don't want anybody to stop your blessings from coming down and raining down on you. And as I always say, if
Hold
I
on,
send
Coach. Hold on, Coach. Hey, this goes off for anybody that's watching right now. If you rewatch it or watching this live right now, if there's any content creator that you want us to work with in 2025, just leave a comment after the video is ended. Leave a comment. Um, we got a plan that's something that we're gonna do. So if there's any content creator that you guys want to see us, do a show with, let us know. And we're gonna try our best to make it happen for y'all. So I just want to put that out there. Happy New Year to everybody. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to us. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. And Coach Jay, send us up out of this thing.
if I send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. I am your man, Coach Drake. That is my brother, Rob the Man. I'm blessed to see you, and we'll see y'all next year. God bless you.